na pia security wise the community is very hostile.
Amutarudi pale, so leo mtachagua watu wawili watatu, watasindikizwa na askari waende walete vifaa zenu, alafu kesho kila mtu ataenda nyumbani kwake au mahali popote, lakini sio kwa hiyo kanisa. Nao tuelewani. Mambo ya watoto, wale watoto ambao hawana wazazi, tumeongea na shule na ofisa, au watoto kesho wale wana wazazi watachukuliwa mahali pa salama.
Okay, I am Bernard Achola. I am an advocate practicing in Migori, the firm of Kerario Maro and Company Advocates, which firm represents St. Joseph Mission of Messiah in Africa Church that is in Opapo, specifically Odienya region. The membership of the church, as you can see, has been detained at the police station since yesterday. Now, I can confirm to you that yesterday, before the unlawful detention that appears to have been sanctioned by the DCC for Rongo sub-county, I was personally present at the police station where the DCIO required the attendance of some of our clients who are members of the church. I availed them and I was within the police precincts up to about 2 p.m. when I left for Migori. Now, the reason why the membership of the church was required to come to the police station was because of the death of one of the church members by the name Eli Nyacheo. Now, if you people can recall very well that this is an issue that has been on the media for now close to 1 month, being that there was the issue of the GSU officer who was also a member of this church who was buried within the church. Now, the family members from Kano, the family members of the deceased GSU officer, had moved the court at Rongo Law Court seeking for exhumation orders. Now, the court gave directions to have the application for exhumation heard by way of inter partes on the 22nd of May 2025. It appears the family was dissatisfied with the decision of the court or directions, and it is out of that frustration that they boarded the bus that they had come with and moved to Odienya where the church is located, and then attacked members of the church who were at that time inside the church premises. Now, one of the deceased persons by the name Eli got injured on the 12th of April 2025 when these goons and rascals attacked the church membership, and they were indeed throwing stones. It is out of these stones that the two members of the church who are dead sustained serious injuries. Now, that is the reason why I was here yesterday, so that the members of the church could record a statement with the DCIO, the circumstances surrounding the death of one Eli Nyacheo.
There's a decision that has been made just now.
Yes, I was expecting the decision. Is not a surprise because I came here at around 1 p.m. I was talking to the officers and none of them was willing to disclose to me the reason why members of this church were being held here. Because to us, there is no offense that they have committed. I know the DCC has made a unilateral decision that is closing down the church based on allegations. I got to learn that he had sent a public health officer to go visit the church, and unfortunately or sadly, none of the church members accompanied this public health officer to ascertain whether he really visited the church compound to come up with such a weird report, or whether this report has been derived from somewhere else. So as we speak, I was expecting that because of all the officers, no one was willing to give a clear way forward respecting the unlawful detention of the members of the church within the police station. I raised a number of issues with them. I wanted to know the reason for their unlawful detention. I wanted to know the reason why children who needs protection were also being held in such deplorable conditions that generally infringe on their rights.
Okay, so they have been ordered that they will not be going back to that church.
As the DCC, he has the powers and the authorities, though arbitrary exercise, as you have seen, to order such, because there is no reason that has been offered by the DCC to warrant the closure of that church. We are thinking of ways of countering that. We are moving the court to reverse those orders, because this is a church that has been in existence since 1970s. It's not something that's existed from yesterday. Some of these members of the church have only known the church as the only home. Some of them were born and grew up within the church. Now, ordering them to come out of the church, where does he expect them to go? Now, if you move to the church, you will realize that there are so many structures there with the property belonging to these people. Now he's closing down the church. He's asking these people to do an inventory and go and remove. How does he expect a few people, of course he has mentioned only 4, how does he expect 4 individuals to go and remove everything that is within that compound? For now, I'll not talk about the next step that we are likely to take, but I know that it is not going to end at this particular point, because we'll have to move the courts, because this one is a clear sign of an officer who is keen on victimizing specific people based on their freedom, the freedom of religion.
So you say the decision is unfair?
The decision is totally unfair, is unwarranted. It is based on falsehoods, rumors, innuendos, because you've heard him say, from the information he has managed to retrieve from the villagers. Now, this is a church that has coexisted with the villagers for almost 50 years now. There has not been any problem. Why now? So this is a decision that has been based on emotions.
What about the fate of the children now?
Now, that is the issue I was raising with the DCIO, the fate of these children. Because yesterday when they got to the church, they got based on information that I had given to them that there was someone who had passed on and they needed to organize for the relocation of the body. Unfortunately, instead of getting to the church to do that, they then decided to arrest everyone and came with the children who have been sleeping outside. You have seen for yourself. Now, if you look at the conditions here, it is not conducive for the children. We are challenging the decision. It is very unfair. In all the circumstances, very unfair.
We are made to understand that this church, you as the representative legally, you made to understand the church is not a church, it's not registered as a church.
That is a lie. This church has a registration certificate. I have shared with the DCC, I have shared with the DCIO, I have shared with the OCS. They are in possession of copies of the registration certificate that is duly registered, that we have verified. Yesterday, I gave them copies of verified information that was obtained from Nairobi office.
So
the church is registered. The church has a title deed in its name.
Who is the leader?
The leader of the?
The leader of the church currently.
Unfortunately, currently the church does not have a specific leader. There are people who are in a position to maybe, let's say maybe they have some advantageous position over the rest, but there is no specific leader as we speak that we can pinpoint that so and so is the what? Is the leader. The church currently does not have a leadership, and the only leader they know is God.